Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back once again to the United Regional Chambers weekly update. We took a little bit of a break over the holidays. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday and Happy New Year to you all. But as we move into 2024, one of the challenges that a lot of the local businesses and national businesses have is finding and keeping good employees. And part of keeping the good employees is training that needs to be done. So my guest today is Bryan Murray. Bryan is from Murray Coaching. And one of the things, he wears many hats, but one of the things that he handles is workforce training grant funds, where he can find a grant to help you train your employees in many, many different things. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But this is a very, very valuable resource because we all pay into this fund as employers. And so this is a way to get some of that money back and get some well-trained employees. So please meet Bryan Murray from Bryan Murray Coaching.
How's it going, Jack?
Good. Good to see you again today. Bryan has become a very active part of the chamber, which is great. But first, before we get anywhere, tell us a little bit about Bryan.
Yeah, so started off by attending Mass Maritime Academy and, had a drive to look at safety of the ship we were on at the time. We used to go out and see terms every year and gravitated towards employee safety. And at the time it was cadet safety. Remember talking to people about, shipping paint and was the paint have any lead, constituents in it? And I always had that drive. So that kicked off a 25-year career of me being a certified safety professional. And working for companies like Citizens Bank. I was the head of safety for them. I worked for EMC Corporation, head of safety for them as well for the Americas, and also power plant down the Cape called CMAS, which is one of the biggest trashed energy plants in the country. So I've got a pretty decent background in safety, and that's what I kind of specialize my training in. But I can also, we'll talk a little bit more about grants, but being able to train your employees is really one of the best things that an employer can do to, like you said, retain talent and also build from within. I think you see a lot of times today, the job searches go outside companies. And really, if we just learn to foster what talents we have inside of our walls, we can be more efficient and more productive with the talent that we already have there if we foster it. So decided to give up the 9-to-5 and start my own consulting / training company. And I am a provider for the workforce grant program in Massachusetts.
Well, before we get into the workforce grant stuff, let's talk about your alter ego for a second. What's that coaching thing that you do?
Yeah, I had to find a company name that kind of fit both the training side and my alter ego is I'm a director of pitching for a local travel baseball organization that has 17 teams called the Mass Hurricanes, and keeps me very busy. So the reason why I had to kind of get out of that 9-to-5 is so I could support that passion, which has me at a training facility early in the afternoon, training about 60 pitchers in the off season. Plus I coach 2 teams. So in order to have that work-life balance for myself, I needed to find an avenue where I could use my other passion, which is safety and training employees and training employers, and couple that with, the baseball side. So, I've had a lot of great experiences and met a lot of great people on the baseball side and really built a good niche for myself there and have quite a few certifications, actually. One from Driveline Baseball. So I run velocity programs through Driveline, which is a nationally recognized organization that works with a ton of MLB clubs on base U. And I'm going down next month to Connecticut to get a neuromuscular training certificate. So I definitely have my hands on a lot of stuff, Jack.
You certainly do. And that's why the teams love you, because you cover most of it and you help quite a bit. All right, let's move on a little bit towards the grants that we started to talk about a little bit. First, explain to us what those grants are.
Yeah, so it's a state of Massachusetts workforce grants, and there's 2 specific types of grants. One is an express and one is a comprehensive. I deal mostly with the express side because it is very quick, easy, and gets small businesses training right away. Within 3 weeks of um, applying for the grant, you're up and running with your training. So it is any company that is 100 or less employees can apply for this express grant, and you get up to $20,000 of 100% reimbursable training. So the way that works, Jack, is you basically you're doing the training, you're paying me as a provider for that training, and then the state reimburses you through a reimbursement form. I've done quite a few of these now, and I'll tell you that this is something the state really got right. They do a great job of it. They're really responsive. If you have to reschedule classes, or if I put new courses up there, or anything that we do with our clients, it's a really good relationship with the state. And the reimbursement process is pretty seamless. And you get professional training for free, pretty much. I mean, you're getting reimbursed for everything you put into it. So it's a fantastic opportunity, and I don't think a lot of companies out there know about it. And that's what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, that's why we get you on today.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we have you on today. There's a lot of money out there. As employers, I mentioned this earlier, but as employers, we all pay into those funds. Okay, and you're right. The state got this one right. As much as we might groan and moan about some of the stuff our governments do, this is one of the programs that really got right. So talk a little bit about what are some of the training courses that you find most companies are in need of right now?
Yeah, so as a certified provider, I have 23 courses that have been approved by the state. Most of them are going to be in your environmental health and safety arena. I also have HR courses on there that I have a former HR director that does those courses for me. That's going to be like positive coaching, one-on-one meetings, employee reviews, but great for employers that are looking to hire within or elevate employees up to supervisor level and getting them that knowledge base. Myself, a lot of the courses I'm going to teach are going to be around protecting the employee. So we also provide first aid, CPR, and AED, which every company can utilize. And I don't think I've done a grant yet where I haven't incorporated that in, and I'm certified through the American Red Cross to provide that training. And who wouldn't, like to have all their employees trained on first aid, CPR, and AED? I mean, just being able to have that, not even in the business, but also take that knowledge home and really help them. And then the other thing, Jack, I want to stress here is there's more courses than just mine. Obviously, I'm just one provider. But what I would like to do for the chamber members is really work in conjunction with them to find out what their training needs are. And if that includes some of my courses, that's even better for me. If it doesn't, I can at least direct them to where they can really get that assistance they need. So I'd like to be an advocate for those chamber members that would like to get some of this, grant money and grant training. Now, we did talk about just 100 or under employees. There is another grant called the comprehensive grant, which is going to be 100 and above. Okay. The reason why I do more express grants is because they're automatically approved. It's literally pick your classes. Let's talk about a schedule and let's submit it. And we're training within 3 weeks. The comprehensive grant is a lot more in depth. You have to go through, what your business plan is, what you're going to do for building the business, expanding, what your makeup of your business is from, a different ethnicities within your business. They want to know a lot more information, and the grant process is a little bit more in depth, but I have written those as well. So I'm happy to assist with those larger grants, and those grants get pretty hefty. Those are up to $200,000. So that's a good opportunity for those larger companies to invest, and it's a 2-year grant. So over 2 years, using $200,000 for this training and program advancement.
Well, and one of the things that I want to clarify for our folks are viewing right now, and I know you offer this to chamber members, but this is available to any small business in our area. Yes, we'd love you to be a chamber member, but we don't twist anybody's arm to do that. But if you have a small company that is in need of some training, you can reach out through the chamber. We'll definitely put you in touch with Bryan, but you do not have to be a chamber member to take advantage of Bryan's services. And he's got such a full array of courses that I'm sure he can help tailor whatever you might need. And the good thing about Bryan is if he can't do it, he's not going to BS you. He's going to turn you on to somebody else who can do the actual training that you need.
Absolutely. And just in in the last couple of grants I've done, we've had a lot of great successes at the clients that I've worked with in changing some of the culture there. And what employers need to also realize is that employees in the situation when we have these types of training classes really open up about the culture and things that are going on at the company. So it's good to work, with these employees and then be able to talk to management about some of the things that may need to be improved on or things that the employees are really concerned about, from a safety standpoint or even from an HR standpoint. So it's a great dialogue to get and gives you an idea of, where the employees feel the company's at with some of these programs and where they'd like to see it.
Bryan, don't give us any company names, but give us an example of that, where you've had the conversation with the employees and you bring it to the supervisors, and tell us how that goes.
Yeah. So when I'm doing safety stuff, they tend to open up about the things that they do that are a little bit off the cuff and kind of scary. So I did have one company I worked with recently that, had some issues with lights not being on when they came in the room. So the lights shorted out and, there's water flowing through this electrical panel. And one of the employees, went over to the panel and started switching off and switching on breakers. And that type of thing was not known by management that was going on, and is very, very dangerous. I mean, it could be fatal. So having that open dialogue, and being able to, talk openly to employees about their health and conditions at work, and it tends to have them open up and really, enlighten me into some of the things that they may experience or may go through or, have to deal with around a, manufacturing location or any type of location where there's some safety issues. So that one was a big one and got some big changes there. I also, walking around a plant when we were doing emergency action planning and fire prevention, noticed that there's a building, the manufacturing building itself didn't have any emergency lights or exit signs. And, and talking to management, they said, I can't believe that the fire department didn't pick up on this because they were just in here. But you have to understand that sometimes they have goggles on for certain things and they're not looking at the whole picture. So, we improved that location by, I got them in touch with a company that could do for the either fire extinguishers, exit lights, and emergency exit signs. But if the light and power went out in that location, employees would not know where to go and wouldn't have any lights to guide them around all this dangerous equipment. So those are the wins that I see when I do training. My win's not getting the training. My win is changing culture and changing habits and changing the way people look at some of these programs. Some of them think it's not needed or I'll never get hurt, but if you could save one person, it's worth it.
And I know that a lot of the stuff that you deal with are OSHA regulations too.
Mm-hmm.
They have to abide by OSHA because that's one organization you don't want to cross.
Yeah. So, I mean, the benefits of this can be reduction in workers' comp costs, going through some of these trainings and loss prevention programs that I offer. But it can also prevent you from having fines from OSHA. If you are to have a serious injury or if they happen to target your industry, which they do every year, they have different industries they target or different programs. So they may just come in. If you have forklifts, there's a target program for forklifts right now. So they're going to come in and see if you have training, licenses, see if you're doing inspections on forklifts. So these are all the different things that, some smaller employers don't have the money to have a safety professional on hand, or they have somebody wear two hats, like their maintenance manager or HR person that doesn't have a great background in it. So this is a way to get that information that you need, from a safety professional with no cost. So win-win.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So as we wrap things up here, Bryan, any final words for folks?
No, just reach out to me if you're interested in these grants. I mean, they're so easy, and it's just sometimes I scratch my head that I call places up and say, hey, I got this grant available. It's free money. And they, oh, yeah. And then they kind of blow me off. And I'm like, no, I'm serious.
Right.
It's free. It's a great program. It's like that too good to be true, Jack, I guess. Right.
Well, we're all a little wary when we hear that good stuff, because there's really nothing for free anymore. But this is a program that if you are very serious about maintaining great talent in your company, or you're looking to make sure that you fall into all the rules and regulations, have a conversation with Bryan. And if he can help you, he will tell you he can. If he can't, he'll tell you he can't. But Bryan Murray, thanks for coming on the show today. We really appreciate you. We'll be having you some programs through the Chamber of Commerce. And if anybody has any questions or didn't catch his email on the bottom, reach out to us here at the Chamber. We'll put you directly in touch. Bryan, thanks. Have a great week.
Thanks a lot, Jack. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Everybody, thanks for joining us again. You all have a great week and stay safe.